My friends, here I'm standing in Östergötland, middle of Sweden we say. No, it's actually in the south, but a little south from Stockholm. And why am I here? Well, because of this. Reijmyre, as it's pronounced in Swedish. It's the only place in the world right now where they, in a big scale, are making handicraft mouth-blown glasses of the highest quality. So, of course, I wanted to have my own Juhlin perfect glasses be made here. It's many years ago since I was here last time, but here we are today checking all the process, and it's beautiful. I tell you, it's really beautiful how it's done, and it's so much in line with everything we want to make in champagne, with the perfection, attention to detail. So, what did I bring today? Well, I want you to just look in a little bit on what I'm doing in my everyday life. I'm tasting so many new champagnes that I've never tasted before, and I want you to join me in that world. So I brought today a champagne that I didn't know at all. I was sending a lot of emails to different producers, and one of them was sent to me directly here. You know them, it's noisy because they are making my glasses right now. It's a village which is a little bit forgotten about. You very seldom passed it. It's Monteleone, but it's based just on the backside of Cuvées. So it's beautiful Chardonnay land, and it's behind Juhlin. So it's the Marne Valley, and it's behind Côte Blanc. And here's a cooperative who's been making champagne since 1947, the classic vintage of 1947. And this coop is making a quite a broad portfolio of blended champagnes, but again is 500 bottles every year of a zero dosage Blanc de Blanc from their own vineyards. And I'm starting with the Blanc de Blanc Prestige, which is 5 to 6 years aging in the cellars, a mix of 3 vintages, probably based on 12 or something like that today, just by the sniff of it. Pure Blanc de Blanc, Monteleone, 8 grams of sugar. Very clean, not this edgy Grand Cru style, not that quality, but still very, very pure. More on lime zest style, a little bit flourish, quite astringent on the nose, despite the fact that we have 8 grams of sugar. Beautiful. Clear, crisp, typical Blanc de Blanc, a little bit of melon, slight notes of tropical notes, but the 8 grams of sugar seems to be lower. Not great, but very good. The second one, the Zero Dosage Prestige label Blanc de Blanc, Mont Hauban from Monteleone, which is the name of the cooperative, 2010. Not much older, strangely enough. 2010 should be quite aged by now. Very stringent this one as well, but more orange notes, less of lime, much more bread, freshly baked, a little bit of butterscotch notes. Much more maturity in the taste. Figs, plums, little bit of peaches. Very dry, but this dryness is not a problem. A little bit short. 2010 should be longer, more caressing in its finish. It's still very clean. Nice champagne, slightly better, only 500 bottles. Perhaps I would have expected a bigger gap between the young one to this one. Next vintage, 2009. The same producer, 500 bottles without sugar, but a big difference. A big part of this wine is a blend of Pinot Noir and Pinot Meunier, and a little bit more than half is the Chardonnay. So it's not the Blanc de Blanc as was the case with the 2010. Even more bread aromas. Of course, a little bit of the Pinot is shining through when you compare it to it, but still the Chardonnay is the dominant aromatically. The dryness is even less evident here, which is typical for 2009. 2009 is a very rich, very round, little bit low acidity vintage, and if you would pick a vintage that you very often can go very low in dosage, it's 2009. I prefer the style with the pure Blanc de Blancs, but it's a close race. To sum it all up, what can I say? I can say that it's amazing that we have so many producers in Champagne that I every day could taste a new one, and to have a selection with so rare bottles with just 500 specimens of each, to be able to taste it here, I feel very privileged, and it's so amazing that the Champagnes hold this class. A quite unfamous village, very few know about it, and the quality is this high. So Mont Hauban, a new name. If you look at the price level, it's a bargain. It's not one of the top producers, but here you got a little bit of a glimpse in the Champagne expert's daily life.